Good evening. Welcome to the Poker Face Show. I am your host, Poker Face, and tonight we are involved in a Texas Hold'em tournament. Let me get Maggie out of the way. Oh boy. Seems like they just changed my table. Okay, here we go. I'm about to get your feed in a second here. We are involved in a Texas Hold'em tournament right now. It's a Sunday progressive. And we're also going to be talking about reading opponents, putting reads on people. This is absolute garbage, so I'm throwing that away. Terrible position. If you would like to play me, please send me an email at info@pokerface.net, info@pokerfaceshow.net, info@pokerfaceshow.net, and we will play live. And if you win, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift certificate, absolutely free of charge. All right, so we got Jack Queen offsuit in the small blind. Definitely a playable hand. This is a knockout tournament. So every time you knock people out, you get some extra money, and that's always a good thing. Okay, there's a little raise there. I'm going to call it. Not too much money. All right, I hit my jack, and there's a heart draw out there that I don't like. I'm putting him on possible king. Gotta be careful here. Oh. Let's check that. That looks like there's a possible straight out there, and I'm folding. Whenever there's a continuation bet that isn't done, it generally makes me a little suspicious. So, king 9 on the button. We're going to raise that up if nobody comes into the pot before, and they do. So we're just going to call the big blind. Interesting. I'm going to let this go. It's a little early. A good shot. If you want to play me live and receive a $20 Amazon gift certificate, just click on the link and let me know that you're there. We'll get you started. We're also going to be doing some simulation. Offsuit on the raise. Let that go. All right. We're also going to be tonight. We're going to be talking about putting your opponent on hands and reading hands, reading your opponent. Oh, that's an interesting coin flip there. And the deuces. Deuces never loses. Okay, got 7-8 off. Let's bring this up with three times the big blind since I'm first to act. Hide that as a strong ace, maybe. The ace comes on board. Represented. Here we go. Here's my ace. Let's look at a nice pot size bet. See if I got it. They were paying attention. They noticed that I raised pre-flop, so I'm representing that ace. So you should get these guys to fold unless they have an ace. There we go. That's a very nice trick play. And 7, I'm gonna let it go. I would have tried the same thing again, but you don't want to keep doing the same trick over and over. People start they're gonna start getting a little suspicious. All right. One of the ways that I teach is with a simulator. This is Maggie's just taking up too much space. All right, Maggie, I want you to hang out over here for a second. There we go. Okay, so this here is a simulator that was invented at the University of Alberta Math Department. And I love this simulator because it's, go back to the, we gotta play it again here. I'm on the big blind here with a suited ace. I got a raise. Normally I'm out of position, but it's a suited ace, so I want to take a look. It's only 90 to see 280, 288. So it's worth odd odds. As my ace, but I'm guessing I might be dominated here if he's got an ace. We shall know after his continuation bet. That looks a little weak. Something tells me he may not have an ace because of that weak continuation bet, and the other ace that's out there tells me that this guy probably does not have an ace. Call him, and now I shall bet my ace. I think I got it. Yep, he didn't have an ace. He probably had a large pocket pair. All right, we got big slate here in the small blind. Generally, continuation bets, when they're weak, they generally are because they're not strong, which is kind of obvious. I mean, you would think, but generally, a weak bet is a sign of not a very convincing hand. So let's raise this up a little bit. All right, we're gonna be real. Can you beat a king? We might have the same hand. Yep. He says he can beat a king. Let me slow down a little bit in case he's got pocket aces. Hopefully he doesn't have king jack. I gotta call this bet, but oh, he does not have a king. Got a cheat there. Oh, look at big slick again. Make him pay. All right. Big slick on the button here. Once I get a non-playable hand, I want to go back to the simulator. We're going to be discussing reading your opponent's hands. I'm going to try to do some of that here as well. I'm guessing Arlo is pretty strong. Here's my ace. Hopefully I'm not up against a 10. I got to proceed carefully here. Only a 10 can call me, maybe an ace can call me as well, but probably the 10, maybe be out there. That's what I'm a little cautious about. Generally, I'll get a re-raise. Oh, ace 10 again. I could have used that hand in the last flop. Let's raise this up again. I don't like to be raising all the time because they're going to start thinking that I'm kind of bluffing here. Because nobody's really looked me up yet. So they might start thinking that I'm getting a little active, and that's going to kind of mess up my chance to bluff later. All right, got a lot of callers. Three-quarter pot continuation bet. Anybody got a jack? He says he has a jack. Okay, maybe a flush draw. Maybe pocket nines. I'd hate to see pocket nines here. But I doubt he would call me with pocket threes. Certainly not a card I wanted to see. He's going to check to me. It looks like he's got the flush. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let this go because I can't continue with this hand. I really don't have anything. Nice hand. I've been getting a lot of hands, which is nice, but the problem is you want these hands at the end of the game, not at the beginning of the game. How many times have you sat down and had a great hand and then the end of the night you're busted? And how many times have you sat down and been busted and said, you know what, I'm going to do one more buy-in, and you walk out with pockets full of cash? That's poker. So we'll see what King Queen does for us. But at least we have position here on the button. You can see we're last to act. So that's always important to me because as some of you who may be watching me will realize that to me, the most important thing is position, not the hands, the cards. That's kind of a non-threatening flop, so I'm just going to do a half a pot. Continuation bet. Somebody says they have a 10, and now I just got my king. Now what I'm going to do is they only have 1,800. I'm going to put them all in. I'm going to make them have a decision for their tournament life, and they got it. Probably had the 10, they didn't like the king. All right, I'm going to let that go. All right. Still waiting for, okay, here's the simulator. This, like I was saying about the simulator, it was developed in the math department of the University of Alberta. The reason I heard about it is because it's it was the first artificial intelligence to beat the pros. You might notice some of these names look a little familiar, kind of, because they try to mimic the players that they are. Bill Tilt, Sklansky. There's a couple of guys here. You'll see them. And you'll be like, yeah, that sounds like so and so. And they supposedly mimic the artificial intelligence. But anyway, I have ace 3 here, offsuit. It's really not a great hand. If you take a look at the strength of this hand, you'll notice it's about a 49% equity against one player. But I'm looking at a whole table full of 8 players. So against 8, your equity goes down to about 8% equity. You're about a 9-to-1 dog. So it's definitely a good fold here. All right, let's go back to the tournament here, the Bounty Hunter tournament. I have 10 Jack in the big blind. There's a pot limit Omaha tournament here. Who is it just raised here? Aces raised, and I got a call from the small blind. I'm going to see a flop. And the flop's not so great. I got a flush, backdoor flush draw, 23-1. This is really great. So I'm going to have to let this go. All right, this simulator here. All right, so he raised over here. Strong bet raised. Oh, I need to take it down. Okay, I got pocket deuces here on the big blind. All right, let's bring it back to the action because just got the weak ace, small blind. There's a Rio here, put a minimum raise in. It's 120 to C350. I will call it. All right, swing and a miss. Really don't have anything there. And I gotta let it go. Don't like my position. Nice hand. Now going back to the simulator, you'll see nobody raised. So this particular player here who entered the pot, I'm gonna put them on maybe an ace X, like a weak ace. It's something that they didn't want to raise. Maybe a medium pocket pair. As you get closer to the button, you can start loosening up your hand. But if somebody over here is calling, they have so many people behind them to enter the pot that they need to have some semblance of a strong hand. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna play that hand. Okay. As I was saying, you need to have some semblance of a strong hand if you're going to be entering the pot in early position like Strong Bad did here. Because there's so many people yet to act behind you that you don't want to get re-raised and not be able to call a raise. But most likely he's got an ace X, like a weak ace, maybe a suited ace, or a medium pocket pair. If there's anything other than that, they would have raised. I have pocket deuces, and right now we're going to take a look at ace big slick in the Bounty Hunter tournament here. I'm going to bring that up for a... Have you noticed my bet sizing is always the same? It's 3 times the big blind. Depending upon the texture of the flop, that'll determine my continuation bet. If it's a wet flop, meaning that there's a lot. Ooh, American Airlines over here. Let's see how. This hand, generally, you have to play it strong. If you slow play it, you're gonna get in trouble. So again, I always do 3 times the big blind. That's my standard bet. Hopefully, somebody will get mad at me raising all the time and want to make a stand right now. That would be great. Come on in, the water's fine, guys. There we go. Here's an all in. Boy, how many times have we done that, huh? Gone all in against aces. This guy's going to be in for a shock of his life. Probably going to get busted here. But we got to call him. Here's his 8. Come on, show me the 8. Come on, here it's coming. Oh, wow, they held up. Go figure. And I got a knockout. All right. Bounty for me. Thank you. All right, I got a weak ace here. I'm just going to call the big blind. If I get re-raised, I may have to let it go, but I do have position. No, actually, no, there's somebody behind me here. All right, swing and a miss, nothing here. Let me check that. If they check again, we'll take a stab at it. Oh, never mind. There's a nice flush out there. Okay, as I was talking about here, I have pocket aces and pocket deuces in the simulator. I'm just going to check and take a look at the flop. So it's been checked all around here. I'm going to do a half a pot size bet because of the flop is not too scary here. I mean, there's an ace queen out there, there's a possible straight on the top, but I want to see if strong bet calls me with a weak ace. Any of these two, I'm going to put them on a weak ace. There you go, strong bet calls. So that tells me, as you can see, you can start narrowing down the possibilities. Right now, I got to come back to the tournament. I'm in the big blind, so I have to act. 200 to see. I'm gonna let this go. I sit on my chips a little bit. Okay, this is actually a very ugly board. Strong bet just checked to me again. I'm putting him on a weak ace. So I'm gonna check this. He's gonna bet it out. I'm gonna fold his hand. But let's take a look at what he has. I'm guessing he's got a weak ace. Oh no, he doesn't have a weak ace. He's got ace queen. Now this is a mistake, folks. Strong bet here. I mean, ace queen is not the strongest hand, but you don't want to slow play this hand because he could have let me in and I could have hit my set here and he would have lost a lot of money. So you generally don't want to slow play your stronger hands in early position. Why is that? Because if you take a look, let's load up the entire field. We'll run a simulation here. Okay, he's a 95% favorite here. Let's get rid of some of these. Okay, now we're going to simulate that. Against heads up, against one person, ace queen is a 47%. Actually an underdog to a smaller pair. But here's the problem. If you start letting other people in with hands, it's not letting me do it. Your percentages, your equity starts to go down. With the more people in this hand, this starts to go down more. So what you want to do is you want to raise it in order to thin out the field and increase your equity possibilities. So I'm going to let this go. Nice hand there. But strong bet's got to be careful slow playing those. It wasn't a weak ace, but certainly it's an ace that's worthy of a raise. I'm going to let this go. Again, I'm in the small blind. Now, Angus over here just brought it in for a raise. In order for Angus to be raising, he's got to be pretty darn strong. And Alessio called, but he's near the button, so he can be a little bit more flexible with his calls because he has the benefit of getting to see what everybody else does first. I'm obviously going to fold. I have 4 deuce offsuit, but I'm going to put Angus on a strong ace, ace king, maybe a strong pocket pair. Let's take a look at what he has. Jack 9, what a loose guy. And that's not even suited. Okay, interesting. We're gonna go back to the tournament here. I have pocket 9s. I'm gonna actually bring that up for a raise. Where's the button here? So I have to, no, I don't have position. This person's still here. 7, 8, 9. I got a gut shot. have a blocker, so I'm not too concerned about the. I have two blockers. I'm not too concerned about the screen. I have two of the blockers there. I take it out. Why is this person having cards? That was weird. All right, I got a weak ace here in early position. I generally don't like to raise these because it basically tells everybody I got an ace. So I'd rather slow play it if I can. If I get re-raised too strongly, I will let it go. But generally, if it's a weak ace in early position, I'm more prone to letting it go on a re-raise. But I certainly don't want to tell everybody that I got an ace because that's all I have really. So why advertise it? I'm gonna check this. Oh look, I just hit my deuce. No, I didn't. He did. I gotta let it go. I got nothing there. And I have 11 to 1. Good shot with a 5 with a straight. All right, 2 5s garbage. Go back to the simulator. All right, and what did Elise have over here? Alessio. He called, and he had a weak ace. Let that go. They can play it out. Oh, Phil Tilt raises up. He's got a pocket pair. Nice. Phil Tilt. You can imagine who's he supposed to be. All right, I'm gonna let that go. It's probably a strong pocket pair or an ace. An ace. I would have liked to have seen this. I gotta remember to take a look at them before I fold this because it's nice. Okay, here's a raise again. Probably it could be a mid pocket pair because there's a lot less people here behind. I'm gonna fold this, but before I do, I want to take a look at everybody. I'm putting him on a mid pocket pair, maybe ace X, a weak ace. Wow, he's got an ace king. Look at that. Actually, first place. Let's go back to the action. We got 2-4 on the big blind. The payouts today. All right, top 3 get paid. There's 21 players. They'll probably flatten it out. I think the revise here. Probably flatten it out a little bit, but right now the top 3 get paid. I'm in first, and I'm going to check this, and I hope that I can steal it. Pot size, that, and there we go. All right, Jack 7 on the small blind, plus me 60 on the C13, 31. 315. This might be worth a look-see. All right, must be 60 to C435. I will call. Doesn't seem to be a lot of strength out there. That. If I had a king, I certainly wouldn't be betting it. So I can't really represent the king. And he's got position. He takes a stab at it. Nice hand, the king. Oh, he's saying no, not so fast. He might be a re-raising because he had a king. All right, queen off suit. 8, queen 8 off suit. If if everybody folds to me, I will raise this and try to steal the pot. One more. One more. And he raises, so I gotta let him go. Now that's a hand that I can raise with, but I can't call with. I can raise it because of my position. I'm on a button, but I can't call that hand. All right. So let's go back to the simulator over here. We're talking about readings. Okay, 3-9 offsuit is obviously not good. Let that go. Alright, back to the simulator here. I'll be back to the tournament. Is that a raise? I can't call that. Sorry. Alright, so we're looking at Queen 5 offsuit. And a raise. Probably a raise is a strong ace. Strong ace because there's so many people behind here, or a high pocket pair. Let's take a look. Wow, Queen Jack, huh? These guys are really loose. The other thing you want to take advantage of is when you see, I mean, obviously, you know, this is kind of a simulator, but when you see hands being shown down, you want to take note of what the players have, and you know, you can kind of talk about classifying them a little bit now. What kind of classifications are there? There's aggressive, right? Aggressive players always betting, kind of like me. And then there's the passive player that just kind of calls a lot. You know, let's call to see if I can improve. Call. And then you have what is called the loose player, which plays any hand at all. Doesn't really, you know, care. Like a lot of these guys that in this simulator we've been encountering are pretty loose players. I mean, look, just, you know, for an example, I'm going to fold this hand, by the way. But you got Queen Jack offsuit here with 6 people yet to act. That's a pretty loose person here, as opposed to someone who is very tight. Someone who's very tight only plays quality hands, so they only get involved if they have a really good hand. That's a tight player. So you have kind of like a quadrant. You have aggressive, passive, and then you have loose, and then you have tight. So it's kind of like 4 quadrants. The hardest one to play against is the loose aggressive. Why is that? Because the loose aggressive, you have no idea what they have. You can't. It's really hard to put them on a hand range. But the other thing is, when they have a hand, they're gonna kill you because you're gonna be thinking they're loose and they're playing any crazy old hand. And when they finally catch, they're gonna destroy you. That's why I like to play loose aggressive if I can. However, sometimes you can shift gears and you can play tight aggressive, where you only play quality hands, but when you play your hands, you play them very aggressive. You know, you play them aggressively when you have a hand. Now you'll notice in tonight's tournament, I'm being a little tight aggressive here because I'm in the lead and I'm trying to conserve chips a little bit now, because in a tournament, the thing I always try to emphasize is that you don't really want to knock everybody out. What you want to do is you want to accumulate chips, but you want to let them knock themselves out, because the more they knock themselves out, the higher into the money you get pushed. All right, I'm still in first place here in the live tournament at the Borgata. And I got 4-5 suited here on the big blind. And I just got raised. This is an interesting hand here because it's a suited connector. It's a little low, obviously, but very deceptive if I can get in there. Won't be crazy if I hit my flush. Won't be crazy about it. But take a look at this. It cost me a 160 to see 1,380. So I have to call this. And I got 3 to a straight and 3 to a flush. I'm not going to continue with this hand. That's dangerous. Let's keep an eye on it, though. Let's see. A secure team just raised up from the button, and he steals it away. All right, 2-8. I'm tough in that. All right, we'll go back to the simulators I was talking about. Types of players. You have your loose, you have your aggressive, you have your tight, and you have your, you have your loose, you have your tight, you have your aggressive, and you have your passive. The worst player to be is a tight, passive player. You don't want to be that type of player because that type of player doesn't raise, doesn't really bet. He just kind of calls, and he only calls with really good hands. So when people figure that out, they're gonna know that once you bet, they're gonna fold to you. That you're just kind of easy to read. You only play when you have something good, and you fold when you don't. And guess what? Most of the times you're not gonna have anything good, so you're gonna be folding a lot. And if people figure that out, they're gonna be betting into you a lot and stealing the pots from you. So don't be a passive type player. You also don't want to be a passive loose player either. That's even worse, to be honest with you. Actually, that's the worst one to be on. Excuse me, I misspoke. A loose passive player is the worst. That's a person who kind of just plays anything. It's generally the guy who's hanging out with the buddies on a Saturday night and just wants to play a little cards. Doesn't really care if he wins or not. But I got 7-4 offsuit. Yeah, I'll play. Let's see if I get lucky. There's a 7 out there. Oh, let's see if I get my 4 out there. If it comes, he's just kind of hanging out. And you got to be careful if they're calling stations because some of the bad players, they don't know better, and they'll just call you. And by the time you realize, they sucked out on you. Okay, we have Ace King here on the in middle position. I'm going to raise that up 3 times. 3 times the big blind. All right, that looks like re-raise to me. So we're going to put them all in and see what they got. Actually, no, I'm going to just call this because I don't want to run against a pair of aces here. Check the razor. Come on, let's see what you got. Dax. Oh, nothing. Nice hand. That was going to go in the middle anyway. Let's take a look at what position I'm at now. All right, that just knocked me down to 5th place. Again, still only 3 people getting paid. There's 20 players left. So Big Slick did me no good. That's poker. So as I was saying, the loose the loose passive is really the worst. That guy plays anything. But tight aggressive is good too. Tight aggressive, it just calls for a lot of patience because you're only going to be playing cards when you have them. So generally, when you're a tight aggressive, you're gonna play a hand like maybe once an hour, and it'll be a big hand when you get involved, hopefully. But I tell you that works fine because if you can be patient enough to fold for an hour, then pick up a monster and then get all your money in good, you'll do fine. So there's no problem with that. The problem is with a tight aggressive. Is that in a tournament situation, you can't sit around waiting for tight hands. They may not come. So you have to be a little active. So right now, I have to be a little bit active. I got 50 big blinds. I'm still not in critical territory, but I like to pick up my cushion. I picked up that 10. I'm going to give it a half a pot, see if anybody's got a queen out there or a 9, maybe a flush draw. Hate to see 9, 10. All right, there's a caller there. As I said, don't like to see 9, 10. I'll bet the river. And I steal it away. I guess he was in a flush draw. Like I said, you got to be active, because if you're just sitting around waiting for your hand and just going to call everybody, it's not going to work. Not in a tournament anyway. See, that's why I think that poker is really a game of skill and not a game of luck. For tournaments, that is. Because you can get lucky and win a hand, but you can't get lucky and win a tournament. It requires skill, and that's what this show is all about, really. Is okay, that's not a very scary board, so I'm gonna bet a half pot. So this is what the show is all about: teaching you how to improve your game, how to improve your tournament play, because this is really all about tournaments. I really don't play a lot of cash anymore, because everybody's kind of stuck at home. So let's take another stab at this and see if we can get people to leave. Yeah, it looks like somebody's got a 10 out there. Maybe 9, 10. Yeah. Don't like that 10. He's going to bet and I'm going to fold. Nice hand. He's got the 10. Generally, what you don't have, they have. All right, Big Slick again. Hopefully, Big Slick won't give me the trouble. All right, come on, baby. We're gonna pop this up a bit. Ace King is a good-looking hand, but doesn't win a lot. But let's pop it up a pot size. You want to play? You gotta get committed. He's thinking about it. All right, take it down. Queen Jack. All right, so I'll take a look at a block here. But this guy was in the pocket. 9, 10, Jack, Queen. Okay, I got an open-ended straight with a flush draw out there that I don't have. That's a nice slow raise. That seems to me like someone's on the come, trying to fish for that flush. Hopefully it won't come. Hopefully I won't make my straight with the flush. How many times does that happen? Huh? You finally hit your straight, and all of a sudden it makes you a straight, but makes the other guy a flush. Yeesh, I hate when it happens. That's poker. All right, how we doing here? All right, I think I just got a straight there. 9, 10, Jack, Queen. No, I paired my Queen. All right, I like that. That's good. No. I got a blocker there with the Jack, so. Representing the straight. Yeah. Got him on the river. What the hell was he on? A flush draw? He was on a flush draw. That's another thing, folks. You really don't want to be putting your tournament life on a line on a flush, on a draw. I mean, it depends. If you have 2 cards to come, maybe. But if you got 1 card left to come, I really wasn't giving him the odds. He had no reason to call that. He was a 4-1 underdog. I'm sorry. He was a 3-1 underdog. In that, and the pot odds just weren't there for him, so that was a terrible call. But let's see where to push me back up. All right, that pushed me back up to first again. All right, and now the top four are getting paid. Yeah, like I said, they're probably going to flatten it out, and that's fine. 5-2 offsuit is garbage, throw it away. And we can come back to the simulator, do a little bit more reading here. As I mentioned before, this person here is I would term him a loose aggressive because to be opening up in such early position with Queen Jack offsuit, that's pretty aggressive. So I'm gonna let that go, see how that plays out. And Phil Tilt calls him up, probably has a strong ace. No, it's got a 10 Jack as well. Not even suited. What are you gonna do? Sometimes people play the darndest hands. I was telling my son the other day, the flop is kind of like a magnet, and it just brings in all sorts of crazy hands. All right, I don't have any of that, so I'll let it go. Nice hand. Wow, 4 high flush will took that down. All right, 69 on a raise. That's an easy fold. Thank you there. All right, back to our simulator. We have 9-8 offsuit. So I'm first to act. Generally, when I'm first to act, I like to bring it in for the raise. Generally, 3 times the big blind is fine, but this simulator is just a lot easier just to roll this here. And the minimum roll is 50. Is about 4 times the big blind. So I'll do that. All right, 79. I got a gut shot. I'm gonna do my continuation bet. The texture of this board here is kind of wet. There's a possible straight draw there. There's 2 flush. So I'm gonna make a pot size bet. So if anybody's on a draw, they get paid. I got Jack 8 offsuit. Actually, Jack 8 suited, but it's in such early position, I'm going to let that go. All right, pocket 9s. There's a raise here. Now, I could just call this and hope to hit my set. That's one way to play it. Or the other thing you can do is just re-raise them and try to take it down now. The only problem is that I got so many people behind me that re-raising him may not be the best play at this point. So I'm just going to kind of call it, and hopefully I can hit my set, do a lot of damage. There's my set. So I'm going to check this and play dead. I just voted. Now, what can beat me out here? Actually, nothing can beat me here. I pretty much have the nuts, and unless somebody has pocket 5s. But I don't think he'd be raising pocket 5s pre-flop like that. So I'm going to put them all in. And he moves. Sometimes these bots are pretty big calling stations. We're going to be on a 5-minute break. All right. I'm gonna go run to the bathroom, so I will be back momentarily. But right now we're on a 5 minute break. All right, we're back in the Poker Face show. We are involved in a tournament, the Sunday Progressive Knockout at the Borgata online. And so far, I'm in first. And right now, dealt 2-3 offsuit, easy fold, easy peasy. Still running in first place here. At the Borgata, we were also dealing with a simulator here. We have seven jack suited. There's too many people behind me to act, so I'm gonna let that go. All right. This Lansky does an all in, and he didn't give me enough chance to, to take a look at his hand. 10 offsuit is garbage. I will bring you back to the ornament here. I got Jack King off. Is that a raise? No, it's not a raise. I'm gonna raise that up 3 times the big blind. Jack King offsuit is not really a great hand to play, but you can't just sit around and wait for your cards. They're not gonna come. Oh, there's an all in. Boy, I'm not gonna call it. I mean, it's pretty darn close, but I'm not gonna call him with King Jack offsuit. Nice hand. And 6 offsuit on the big blind. Yeah, a lot of people think that King Jack is a good hand. It's really not, and we can visit that later. I'm gonna let that go. Four, 6 offsuits, no good. I'll let that go. We'll get back into position. Okay, what I was talking about was King Jack offsuit. We can actually take a look at it here. King. King Jack offsuit is only a 53% favorite against one player. Oh, let's see. That's a raise and a re-raise. I guess 9-7 off. So I'm gonna let this go. Interesting here. This guy's secure team has been getting a little active. I think he's feeling a little pressed for chips. I would have had none of that. Getting back to the King Jack offsuit, as some like to say, Jack King off. Jack King offsuit, folks. Come on, what are you thinking? Jack King off. It's only a 54% favorite against one player. And as you can see, it dramatically drops down when you have a lot more folks on board. We're looking at 8 and 9. If I'm forced to act, I might bring this in for raises. This guy just got knocked out. Yeah, he got knocked out. All right, so let's do a couple of moves here. Hopefully we can take the big blind. Good, he's out of the way. We're last to act. That's a call, huh? Yeah, I think I'll play this. Let's take a look. Nothing. What What a lousy call. Oh well. 50 big blinds still. That knocked me down to 5th place again. Okay. I'm still not too worried about my snack. Go. Right now I'm playing tight aggressive. As the tournament starts getting into the short-handed, then I'll loosen up a little bit more. So getting back to the topic of King Jack offsuit, a lot of folks think that this is a good hand. It's a decent hand, but it's a hard hand to call with. You know, you can certainly raise it and maybe even re-raise with it, but as far as calling an all-in with it, I think it's trouble. I mean, it's just it's so easily dominated. So I'm not a fan. So we can get back to this simulation here. Big 2 offsuit is obviously a fold. I'll let this go. All right, we got Jack 10. Big blind plus me 360. See 13.8. I'm gonna call it. A little loose here. All right, I got an open-ended straight. You know, re-raise it. Putting him on a queen. And he gave it up. Wow. That was hairy. I thought he was going to call me down all the way. I was ready to shoot again. Because I thought I could take him away from that. Alright, we'll let that go. Alright, that pushed me up to 4th again. Ace Queener on the button. Definitely calls for the race. Now, would I call an all-in with Ace Queen? Probably not. Because I'm not really desperate, so I probably would not call an all-in. Unless it was a short stack, maybe that didn't really cost me that much. But I certainly call this race. Put him on the pocket pair. We got a strong ace. This guy did enter. He'll probably come in Harrison like, no. Alright, that's tough. Look at this. We got 2 over, so he's all in. I guess he's got a pocket pair. Yeah, it cost me 5,000 to C8. I'm gonna let this go because if I lose 5,000 chips, it's gonna cost me. I think I'm dominated here. Maybe he even has Ace King, but he's probably got a pocket pair. I'm gonna let that go. Nice hand. I can't call with nothing with Ace High, you know. So getting back to the simulator here. 9 deuce offsuit is not so good. What am I doing with the chips again? It's my stack size there. 10,005 is my stack size. All right, first actually, I'm gonna bring it in with a raise. I take the blind here. I take the button. The flop is not very intimidating. He bet 75. I'm gonna re-raise him 3 times. And I take it away. The re-raise is an amazing tool. It really helps you to define people's hands. Talking about reading people, if you're not sure where you stand, you hit them with a re-raise, and they call you. You can pretty much put them on the hand that you think that they have. That strong hand that you think that they have. But generally, if they're not as strong as you hope they're not, they will fold to a re-raise. Just when in doubt, re-raise them. All right, this is a really ugly board here. Yeah, obviously he had a king. I guess the other guy had the 5. I'm not gonna let that go. Too many people behind me yet to act, so I can't call a re-raise with a queen 9 offsuit. All right, let's get back to the tournament. Yeah, I just called it a 9-10 offsuit. I'm in early position, but interesting. 4 players. I can't see that hitting anybody except the small and big blind, so I'm going to take a stab at it. As if I got the 7. Got 2 overs. All right, Harrison Wang may have the 7. I got to be careful here. Check. I'll fire out one last barrel. See if he's got it. If he calls me, I'm done. He's got the 7. He does. What has he got? Quads? Are you kidding me? He's got quads. Yep, he's got quads. What a nice read on me. Holy schmoly. Talk about reading your opponents. There you go, folks. Reading quads. Yeah. Oh, man. That was crazy hand. What a time to try to make a move. Trying to make a move against quads. Go figure. All right, I need to lick my wounds. I'm gonna fold that 10 king and lick my wounds. Oh my goodness! Right now I'm in 6th place. Oh boy, putting up against quads. Yeah. The thing you got to realize is when they call the turn, they probably are serious. I was hoping he just had the 5, and once he called the turn, I knew he had the 7. And when the other 7, the 4th 7 came out, I was like, there's no way I can do anything with this. All right, 4-8 offsuit. He was hoping I would bet that river, but I knew he had those quads. All right, let's check it. Hopefully the flop will be with us. All right, a pair D8. Let's take a stab at that because I gotta make up some ground. Oh, he outkicked me. See, I'd rather win at the end of the night instead of the beginning. I started off really strong, and now I'm catching like all these lousy flops. But keep going, baby, keep going. King, queen. How do I call this? Got about 10 revolutions. 3 to a flush. 2 overs. 4, 5, 6. That's an ugly ass flop. I'm gonna let it go. Ace Jack, really? Ace Jack? All right. Overplays Ace Jack. All right, 4-9 off, so we're gonna fold that. Overplays Ace Jack on the button. All right, touch it, folks. 199. Very important to keep notes on, folks, because you're gonna encounter these people, and when you're online, you can't see any tells, so you need to make notes of how they play. So this guy, 999, he'll even though he's got a good hand and he doesn't have a piece of it, he'll keep firing away at it. So it's good to know. You generally want to let him fire into you and then just get him at the end with a pair. Okay, ace 4 off. And I'm dominating. I'm going to let this go. Even though I have position, the last thing I want to see is an ace out there. I'm going to be like, okay, I got the ace, but with a 4 kicker, it's really asking for trouble. Other blinds right now. A little over, got about 11 revolutions, 11 orbits left. That's my queen. I'm gonna play this strong. I want to take this down without any problems. Thank you. Ace 9. Just gonna call that the weak 9. The ace is suited. There's an all in. Do I want to call all in with this guy? Yeah, he looks a little desperate. Oh, we got the same hand. Oh, I might have a hard draw. Yes, I got him. I got him. Ouch. Yeah, he seemed a little desperate jumping in there, so I thought he may be a little weak, but I didn't know he was going to be as weak as I was. But luckily, I was suited. That extra 2% in the suit really helped. Okay, give me some breathing room. All right, let that go. I got about 16 orbits now. That was helpful. All right. All right, I'm back. I gotta tell you, I'm not happy camper with Melon. It just crashes a lot. So if you're a gamer out there and you're looking for a platform, Melon is certainly not recommended. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm hearing an echo in my head. It's ridiculous. But I'm gonna keep plowing forward. I got 8-9 in the big blind. It cost me 1,200 to see. I'm gonna let it go. But definitely not happy with this. It's just been too many times. The problem is that I have I use a Mac, and a lot of the platforms are not friendly to Macs. Melon is the only one that seems to be friendly to Macs, but honestly, it's not great, to say the least. It crashes a lot, and right now I'm hearing an echo in my head. So if you're an online gamer out there, stay away from Melon. I don't know why I'm using it. I'm hoping I can get something else. I might have to go back to Windows, but I'm certainly not happy with Melon. I've complained to them about it, and really, all they say is just hit the reset button. Thanks a lot. But anyway, let me try to get my mind back in this game. All right. I'm trying to mess with the echo. All right, 5-3 offsuit. Easy fold. Easy peasy fold. All right. I've been dealing with not dealing, but I've been kind of, you always try to improve your game, and one of the things that I realize is, what do you do when you're on tilt? What's tilt? Tilt is when your freaking website doesn't work, your transmission, like Melon, stops working, and you're trying to play a tournament and you got an echo in your head, like I do right now. And how do you kind of like reset yourself so you can play correctly? Because when you're upset, you make terrible mistakes, terrible decisions. 3-9 offsuit is easy fold. So I learned a technique. It's a breathing technique to relax. Supposedly it relaxes the brain again. So what you do is you take a deep breath in through the nose, 5 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and then let it out over 7-second period. That supposedly resets the brain and mellows it out. So I'm gonna actually do that now. See, that worked because I wanted to play the King 7 until I did that exercise, and now I know better. Anyway, we continue to plow on. We're involved in a Borgata Online Sunday Progressive Knockout. Top 5 are getting paid. And I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I gotta admit that when the Melon site messed up, as it usually does, it totally threw my game off. So I'm looking at 8,300 in chips and an echo in my head. It's a beautiful thing. So hopefully we won't have any more glitches with this stupid website. Melon, the best streaming app, so they say. Nah. It kind of stinks. It crashes a lot. Okay. Ace-7 suited. Let's bring that in for a raise. I'll take it. Ace-9. Let's just call that since we just raised. You gotta mix up your game, you know. It's important to mix up your game. If you keep playing the same way all the time, you're easy to read. So that's why sometimes if you have pocket aces, you might want to fold them, just to mix up your game. All right, there's my ace. So let's bet that ace. Hey, you don't have an ace. Yeah, but they don't know that. Harris Wang is doing pretty well. He's my nemesis over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need a 5. I need a 5. All right, let's see if he calls me. At the 6. All right. Now I know. Let's make a note here. Calling station. When large stacked. All right. We got his number. So what do you do against a calling station? They're going to call you all the time, so you can't bluff them. So what you got to do is you got to weight your hands, and when you're in the hand with the calling station, you try to get a good hand and have them call you. All right, 9-2 offsuit. Not a great hand, but I am in the big blind. Hopefully I can get to see a flop. And I get to see a flop. And it's a very nice flop. Let's make like I'm making a stab at it. This is a flush draw out there. Let's go all in. King 9. Yeah, gotcha, baby. Six-2 suited. If I come back on this game, it'd be amazing. All right, I can't call that. I've been down. I've been down to 2 big blinds and came back and won the tournament. So you never give up. Never ever give up. Even if you're transmitting with Melon that keeps crashing and has an echo in your head, never give up. Yeah, Melon, I'm going to keep ragging on you because your website is less than stellar. All right, now whenever you see a paired board and one over, you took my move away. You bet at it, and whoever bets it usually wins it. Unless you come across the paired. See, he was doing that, King 6 over here. He was doing that. Ephesian Paul. Ephesian Paul must be watching the Poker Face show. Picking up on my tricks. Well, if everybody starts getting my tricks down, I can take off the mask. All right, looks like it's turning into a shove fest. Now, what do you do when it turns into a shove fest? Number one, be patient. People are starting to get desperate because the blinds are picking them up. So you have to be patient. Right now I have about 10 orbits, roughly. So small pocket pairs and suited connectors become unplayable. You do have to loosen up a little bit. Now, unless you're going to bring them in for a raise, you can play suited connectors and small pocket pairs. But generally, you can't call with them. So I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to call it was a min raise. I am in position. I'm hoping for a 9. And a swing and a miss. I'm going to float this as I got the queen. He's going to check. Oh, no, he's got the queen. He got this jack. No, I gotta let that go. All right. Two offsuit is an easy fold. All right, ace 10. Let's bring that up. Suited. Times a big blind. Yeah, here it comes. There it comes. Come on, calling station. Aha. Fudge. He got me on the river. Son of a human being. That's it. Well, that's poker. What are you going to do? You get it in when you get the best. I had the ace kicker and he rivered me. Nothing else you can do. The only thing you can do is get rid of this Melon transmitter, and I might have to go back to Windows because I can't take all this website crashing. But anyway, I hope you folks enjoyed this and learned something. And God bless. And I will see you at the table.